Not supposed to be here right now. I don't know about y'all, but there's a pattern and a script that you know that you should follow. And there's boundaries you know you should stay within. And I'm not supposed to be here right now. So because of that, I just know it. I'm not supposed to be on this side of I'm not even in side of town, but I'm not supposed to, this is another city. I'm not supposed to be here right now. So I'm going to record as much as I can to see why I'm not supposed to be here. I hope I don't have a wreck or something, but I just know I'm not supposed to be over here right now. And one of the reasons I know is just in my gut, but another reason is I couldn't find what I was looking for in there, and it was right in front of me. I bought some red wine, taking just a little bit, like a couple ounces a day, just to test to see what results, health benefits it is, because there's supposed to be some health benefits. Restoring beta cells in your pancreas, I think. I don't know why I'm not supposed to be here, but I just felt it. So there's another loud muffler. I haven't uploaded the other videos, but the loud muffler, the motorcycle repeat, there's the loud muffler, and a bunch of trash on the side of the road. Those three things are going to repeat again before I cut this off. It could be that I'm not supposed to be here because I'm shifting my reality. See, if you really understand what's going on here in this reality, is there's patterns from your childhood, bloodline, culture, etc., etc. There's patterns in your reality that were started from your childhood that are not you. That's not your calling. You don't have to follow your pattern of your parents, especially if they're unsaved. If you have unsaved parents, you don't have to follow that pattern. If your dad was in jail, or your mom was on drugs or whatever, because I experienced that, you don't have to follow that pattern. Why do you think you have to follow the pattern of your parents? You don't. You have a calling above, high and above, way above. If you're saved, you can break all patterns. Addictions, strongholds, whatever, they're broken in Christ, and they're broken just like that. They're already broken. You just have to enter into it. And so if you want to break an old bad pattern, you got to start a new pattern. So this might be the day that I solve a problem that I've been researching for the last 2 months, because what I did is I ate McDonald's my whole life. I ate bread my whole life. I ate carbohydrates, carbs my whole life. And so if you eat carbs your whole life and sugar, you're going to destroy some beta cells in your, pancreas or something. And I'm researching. So all the research was, once your beta cells break down, you can't replace them. You just have limited. But then there's some new research out this year or last year that says, yes, beta cells can be reproduced. Now, if I find out that the beta cells can be reproduced, don't you think I'm going to eat that kind of food and drink that kind of food? And so if it works, maybe the reason I felt like I wasn't supposed to be over there is because I'm changing a pattern in a big way. I've already changed the pattern 2 months ago. I went into fasting. When the doctor says something and shows me something that's off the roof, like your A1C and your blood sugar is way high, and I get serious. I treat it like an enemy warfare. I treat it like an attack. I really do. I went into fasting. I lost 20 pounds. I went from 200 to 180, and I really wasn't overweight. I went from 200 to 180 in 45 days, and I didn't even notice it. I had to put 2 notches in my belt to add to my belt. My point is, I wasn't even trying to lose weight, and it just dropped off automatically, because at 6 o'clock I don't eat till 8 in the next day. So I'm doing a 14-hour fast every day now. And this weekend, on the weekend, sometimes I don't even eat for 24 hours or 18 hours or whatever it is. You're not hungry. When you cut back sugar, you're not even hungry. You have more energy. You're not hungry. You can focus. The reds and the greens or colors are more vivid. You have more power. You have less pain. The turmeric and all that stuff and so now what I'm experimenting with is tomato soup, or soup in general, vegetable soup with some turmeric and garlic and some different spices. And also what I just bought today, actually wasn't supposed to, everywhere I went today, it's just not my normal pattern. I wasn't supposed to, so maybe this is the change. Maybe this is it. Maybe I've solved the problem. I never drank red wine my whole life, so I bought a bottle to test it, to see what happens. Something else I bought that you will find interesting, and I think it's good for your skin too, because I don't know if it is, but I took and bit part of it, put it on because I work with my hands and wash my hands a lot, and my skin gets dry in the wintertime. And so I'm just saying, change your reality by changing your patterns. I wasn't supposed to be where I was at. So this is vitamin D3. It's just a soft gel with some, I don't know if it's fish oil or what's in it, but you can just Google what is vitamin D, and it'll say something about fish oil or something. And so you can bite it. You can take, it's just a little gel, and you're supposed to have like 20 micrograms a day or something. And so I bit it, and I rubbed it on my hand where I had my dry skin, because I wash my hands all the time, and I work out in the cold, and I use electric heat at home, and I'm just around dry weather. My point is, don't think you're stuck in a pattern. Don't think you have to eat McDonald's the rest of your life. Don't let something somebody said in your childhood set the pattern for your life. Don't let people around you set a pattern. Don't let them put a curse on you or a pattern that is not growth pattern, like studying the code. So I had a lot of people online when God was revealing the code. I hadn't finished yet. Now I'm finished, and I could actually see the whole truth, the whole holographic truth. And so when they were attacking me and they thought they were going to stop me, they ain't going to stop me. If God reveals something to me, you think they're going to stop me? No. And so now I see the whole holographic truth in all things. And they don't. And they can't even hear me, because they were doubting Thomases. You know, when the Shekinah glory shows up in your house and he downloads your ability to see past this 3D reality, you think you're going to stop? You think somebody's going to stop when no. Just like in the Old Testament, the prophets and the priests, and they saw things not of this earth. So when I saw something, a light shine through my roof and through the floor, all the way down through my house, a spiral light that didn't cause a reflection, didn't shine light. It was just like a neon light, but it was not solid. Look at this. This guy don't know how to drive, and that guy was doing 55, and he pulled out in front of him, and he still got his signal on. She don't know how to drive. And so when the Shekinah glory shows up, you have an experience that most people don't have, and they want to shut you down because you've had a supernatural experience with God, and they want to shut you down and shut your mouth and defame you and lie about you and put images up, put a wig on your your image and say, oh, he's wearing a... No, it wasn't me. I never wore a wig. It's a shame for a man to have long hair. And so my point is, if you want to believe their lies, go ahead. But somebody who saw past this reality and sees the whole holographic truth, they got to shut them down. But you can be set free with the truth. The truth will set you free. And so you can change your patterns. You can change your reality, because Jesus withdrew himself. They were trying to take him and kill him before it was his time. And Jesus withdrew himself. And they couldn't even find him. That tells you right there that there's some supernatural stuff going on right in front of you. And when he went to the cross, the veil was rent over here. The veil in the temple was rent, but he was on the cross over here. So that tells you quantum physics is real, that every moment is the same. Every position is the same. Everything is the same at the cross. It's a projection from the cross. You're living and breathing, and your whole being in him. We live and breathe and have our being. Your whole being is in Christ. You're per the Son as a per Son. And so when God reveals the truth to you, don't you think that even the 501(c) fake churches, the legalistic Draco Ma drama churches, want to shut you down because they make money off of their cult. They make money off of their ignorant sheeple. There's a lot of sheeple in church. You know something's wrong when somebody wants to join the church and they say, oh, you got money, come on and join. They just want people with money. I actually saw deacons that don't know their Bible, and they were deacons. They didn't know the Bible. How can you be a deacon and not know your Bible? It don't make sense. And they'll let people join who are not even saved. Are you born again? Yeah, most people don't know that. Why don't you try the spirits before they become a member of a church, you know? Try the spirits. See if they really are born again. Test the spirits. Try the spirits. Do they speak? If they speak not according to this word, there's no light in them. So the Pentecostals go off the deep end. The Baptists go into legalism. The Methodists go in traditionalism, isms, cults and isms. And all your cults, like your Jehovah's Witness and your Mormons, you know those are cults. It's a works-based system, which is it's not works, it's faith in Jesus. It's all religion. It's not an experience. It's not a new birth. It's not a new heart. It's an old heart trying to paint the outside. They wash the outside of the cup, but they don't do any inner work. Every moment of every day, God is trying to change you in the inner man. And if you look at everybody else and you don't look at the 3 pointing back, you don't grow. He did this, she did this, blah, blah, blah. They did this. That's pointing your finger at other people. Yeah, they're sinners. I don't even want to know their sin. If you want to know somebody's sin, something wrong with you. I don't care about their sin. I caught somebody stealing the other day. And I said, if you keep stealing, you're going to get, the universe is going to give you back worse than you got. I don't care about her stealing, her sin. I mean, I do care because it's actually going to hurt herself. And it's wrong to steal. Everybody stole. If you're being lazy on the job, that's stealing. If you stole an ink pen, that's stealing. Everybody stole at times. And if you say you never stole anything, you're probably lying. Like if you do your taxes and you short your taxes a little bit, the government steals from you. I know that. Two wrongs don't make a right. But my point is, everybody's lied. The 10 Commandments, if you haven't broke all of them, you broke one. And the Bible says if you broke one, you broke them all. So you're not judging people. If you catch somebody doing something, you're not judging them. You're just saying, you just stole in front of me. Come on, what's wrong with you? If a person steals in front of you, that means their heart is so they justify their stealing. Tells you that their heart is so wicked and so convoluted that they don't even recognize stealing as stealing, even though they're trying to sneak. And like you didn't see it, they're actually trying to change reality. You're sitting there watching them still, and they try to change reality. You talk about gaslighting, trying to gaslight your whole reality. You're sitting there watching them steal, and they try to gaslight and say, oh, it's not stealing. I mean, really? Come on. That's sick. I mean, that's mentally, totally sick. It's really sick. To deny that stealing is even a thing. Well, what if somebody stole from her? Oh, she'd throw a fit. She'd throw a fit. She would just call. She would attack everybody under the sun who tried to take something from her. But when she takes something, it's not bad. But if they did it to her, she'd probably call the law and everything else. My point is, the spirit mind is counterintuitive to the flesh mind. The flesh mind can't even hear you. The flesh mind can't even understand what you're saying. The flesh mind is so convoluted and upside down that if that's the pattern of everybody around you and your bloodline, then what do you do? You get a new heart, you get a new identity, you get a new path, you put off and you put on. And you're going to get to a point eventually when you start cutting off these flesh creatures who try to quantum connect. The flesh creature tries to quantum connect with you to vampire off you. They need you. They can't even live without you. But they try to put what's on them onto you. They try to project their reality onto you. You're this, but it's really them. And that blows your mind. That really blows your mind. But here it is. Vitamin D. D3. There's something else. Fenugreek, zinc, chromium, magnesium, vitamin C. Right here. And you probably have the vitamin shop in your city. And you buy one, get 10%. Now, are they telling the truth that this stuff is really in here? This looks like it is. It looks like the truth. But all you can do is experiment. Do a little experiments. Do some experiments. See what happens. The flesh mind is stuff like hoarding. No, let it flow through you. The flesh mind is stuff like, I'm just trying to think back. People I used to know that think in the flesh mind. On the job, the flesh mind is like you go to job and it's just all about your paycheck. No, you're part of a team and you're all working together in that ship. It's like a ship out on the ocean. If the whole team ain't working together, it's not gonna perform. But if you're out here by yourself in the flesh mind, yeah, if it's all about me, you don't see the big picture like a nation. It's not about race. It's not about sex or color, male or female. It's not about you're better than your neighbor. It's not about your neighbor. You all have to respect each other. You might have different beliefs in your nation, but you show that respect to that neighbor and you let them live in peace and you say, leave me the bleep alone because I'm leaving you alone. Love your neighbors yourself. If you need some bread, if you need some food, I'll give you some food, but it's not going to be steak. And it might be if I had an extra steak. But my point is, the flesh mind is all about self. The spirit mind is taking up your cross and denying yourself. The flesh mind is hoarding stuff. The spirit mind is letting it flow through you. And it's so obvious, like investing. Then the people who want to gamble and try to get rich quick, that's the flesh mind. The people who say, I'm going to invest in a company. I'm going to invest in a company because I'm investing in America or I'm investing in my neighborhood or my state. I'm going to invest and it's going to grow over time. But the get rich quick schemes are the flesh mind. The invest in long term is the spirit mind. So there's 1,000 examples of the flesh mind versus the spirit mind. The flesh mind wants to steal, kill, and destroy. The spirit mind wants to build other people up. The flesh mind thinks, well, if they get ahead, here's a flesh mind lie. if I scratch your back, you got to scratch mine. Or if I help you get ahead, I'm going down. No, if you help somebody else, you're helping yourself. That's the spirit mind. I'm not going to help them because they didn't help me. No, if you help somebody else because you have unlimited resources in God, you have unlimited potential in God. So if you help somebody else, you're helping yourself. If you raise somebody else, you raise up. But the flesh mind says, well, if I raise somebody else, I'm going down. If I work for the rich man and I help the rich man get rich, I'm going down. No, you're going up with the rich man. Do you understand the flesh mind versus the spirit mind yet? The flesh mind is counterintuitive to their own self. They think they're doing right. I'm going to go play the lottery. I'm going to go play gambling. No. If you go to work, you can make that money and investing it, and you make more than what the lottery. There might be some people that get rich on the lottery. There's a way. If you want to play the lottery, all you have to do is start a pattern, and it will eventually show up. But every time I've ever, I've only played the lottery like 3 or 4 times, and every time I did, I got sick for about a week because the lottery is luck. The luck is the flesh mind. Destiny and providence and God's script is the spirit mind. You already know your destiny. You're going to heaven and spending time with eternity with God if you're saved. You don't need to worry about the time. Time is befallen. Looking at time as a linear is the flesh mind. Looking at time as a cycle, every day is the same, is the spirit mind, because Jesus is outside of time, and if you're in Jesus, you're outside of time. It's the spirit mind versus the flesh mind. Why do you think I keep talking about time? Because if you break the time lie, then you break it all. The biggest conspiracy or the biggest lie you've been told from your culture and time and everything is that time is linear. Time is a cycle. Yes, there's new dispensations that show up. There's new ages, but it's still the same truth that Jesus alone saves. It's still the same truth of the flesh versus the spirit. It's still the same truth of the 666 versus number 7. And 7 is G, Golgotha, it is finished. It is finished before the foundation of the world. It was already done. Hebrews 4 tells you that. And so if it's already finished, you don't have to do anything but just rest in that finished work of Jesus. And so they're going to lie about you. They're going to attack you and everything else under the sun. They might even take you out. But if you're absent from the body, you're present with the Lord. But they really need you. So the Jezebel spirit wants to yoke up and marry you because why? They want a vampire off of you because they are walking around like monsters bumping in the dark. They're like walking in a dark house, bumping into walls. They don't even know where they're going. But you know where you're going because you already see the end from the beginning and the beginning to the end because it is finished. You already know where you're going. And you're actually already there because you're seated in the heavenly. So what's your purpose for here? You're just experiencing. You're going to be judged for the things done in the body. So what does that tell you? Your body's temporary. And so what should you do with your body? You should maintain it. And if you've done like me and you didn't maintain it your whole life, you can start now and you can start becoming your own doctor. Because you know the doctors are lying to you because the whole system's a lie. There's some online doctors that don't seem to be lying, but most of your doctors are lying because they've been lied to by their training, And we're finding out that you don't even need carbs. And the fructose from fruits is bad for you. They've lied to you because they've been lied to. And they believe their training instead of doing their own research. They just went through their school system. And so the illuminati system, which is everywhere, and it's always bombarding you, those who break free, they got to shut us up. They got to censor us. They got to shut us down because the truth's right in front of you. And if you find out that you know more than the doctors by just a little bit of research, they'll mess you up. If you know about intermittent fasting, they're gonna try to shut you down because it destroys their money-making schemes. Do you understand? It's all about mammon. Money is mammon. It's all about money and power, the world, the flesh, and the pride of life. And it's everywhere, all the time. It's in the cultures and the people. It's all around you. You're surrounded by it, by the news, the media, by your friends, you rub shoulders with people. They actually believe these mind viruses that they've been programmed their whole life. Seriously. And so you don't get mad at them, but they're like stuck in a matrix and they can't wake up from the simulation. And when you break time, it's easy to break the simulation program. You got to break the simulation, which is the flesh mind, and step out of it to see it. For real. This is real. I'm not even joking here. I can prove it with the words. I've proved it. And so I've proved it with experiments. I can actually talk about something and drive across and it appears in the hologram. This is real because look at this fence I built. Everything's a repeat. I built this fence in no time. I mean, it's not fancy or anything. I built it for height. I built it for like a rustic view, and I actually built it to block the neighbors. I don't want to see them when I walk out. I don't want to see Jerry Springer when I walk out on my front porch. I don't want to see him. Because what goes in your eye gate, your ear gate, what you think upon, it reflects back. I don't want to see Jerry Springer, so I put the fence up and I don't have to see him when I walk out. I see peace, you know? My point is, if you break the program of time, you break the matrix. In the new Matrix movie, you saw inside the Matrix, the guy was able to control and reverse time and slow down time. That tells you they know something. They know something. And so you can reverse time, age, everything else with the right vitamins, the right food, fasting. You can reverse it. You can restore beta cells. Why would they tell you you can't restore beta cells and then and 5 years later they say, oh yeah, you can restore beta cells? Because they're liars. They don't know, people. They just don't know. They're humans. They don't know the truth. If God tells you to walk by faith and he can restore people from the dead, don't you think he can restore beta cells? Come on. It's time to break the matrix. It's time.